Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It is Friday. Congratulations on making it through another week. We have more big news, not just for crypto today, but for the banking industry. I hope people are ready for a wild 2024 or 2025, but we'll get into that. We have some XRP news, XLM news, other news. Let's begin here. This article is titled, Report Says 50% of Ripple on-demand liquidity transactions use XRP. That's great in my humble opinion. Absolutely fantastic for a crypto that's been constrained. We haven't even been unleashed in the United States yet. There's not across the globe, across the board clarity yet. And yet 50% of on-demand liquidity is utilizes XRP, which is the best of the best, by the way. Of course, you're going to have some clients that want to use something else until they realize like, oh, this is trash compared to XRP. If you use payment channels with on-demand liquidity, you get the absolute lowest fees, the fastest transaction times. And as a matter of fact, the more money you send, the faster it goes. The higher the transaction, the cheaper it's going to be, the faster it's going to be when you use payment channels. Once again, the best thing about payment channels on the XRPL is you can only use XRP. So it's just a matter of time. But it also shows that it works. It works. Now, when you pair that with the thought of what we covered yesterday, if you didn't see those videos yesterday, because YouTube has been having some problems, right? So some people haven't been able to access YouTube. Some people haven't been able to watch all the videos from a lot of different YouTubers, right? Watch those, because there was one of those videos, we covered something where Brad Garlinghouse was on a panel with the head of financial regulations in Hong Kong, and that regulator let it be known, we're not worried about volatility. So now you have it where you're seeing proof now. Volatility doesn't make a difference. It doesn't matter. All they want is a functioning, working product and being able to regulate all these things. So let's take that out of the equation until we see different, right? So they're using XRP despite any volatilities, and it's working. Despite any fluctuations in price, it's working 50%. All right. Just imagine when we're unleashed in the United States. I can't wait. I really can't. I'm ready for that next level. I'm ready for that next step. Let's read this little tidbit here. It says this: according to a publication by SCBX subsidiary SCB10X, approximately half of RippleNet's transaction volume is executed using XRP as a bridge asset. This disclosure came following an interview with Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse and Mukaya Panik, CEO of SCB10X, in a summit on DeFi and Web3. Once again, keep in mind, 50% is a great number, in my humble opinion, when most of the institutions have let it be known they're not going to touch XRP just yet, even though they have infrastructure set up, even though they have shaken hands with Ripple. They may even have some deals with Ripple, but we have to get past that institutional sales aspect of the SEC case first. I can't wait to get past that, because I know, just my personal opinion, not financial advice, of course, but I personally feel that once we get past that, skies can't be the limit. Can't be the limit. In my humble opinion, that's why I don't play with XRP at all. That's just my stance. I'm not trying to convince you of anything here, but this was brought to note. Let's give some props here. It says prominent XRP community figure Wrath of Kahneman called attention to the report in a recent post on X. All right. A lot of great people in the XRP community. It says 50% of RippleNet transactions use XRP. That's the next section. It says specifically, the report stated that 50% of the transactions of RippleNet now absorbed into Ripple payments flow through Ripple's cross-border payment system. Now, just do the math here. 50% of these cross-border transactions or on-demand liquidity are utilizing XRP, all right? Which obviously right now, that's not enough to really skyrocket the price, right? But that's still a great sign. That's a great, because I know somebody's going to mention that. Like, if it's 50%, Mick, then why is the price down? There's a bearish market. There's a lot of selling going on. And right now, we don't have the numbers yet. We don't have the transaction volume. We don't have the transaction values that we want. When the time is right, this proves that you will see magic. Possibly, not a guarantee. I don't have a crystal ball. But if everything continues on this trajectory, you're going to see magic. No way around it. We have global dominance when it comes to cross-border payments, right? That's trillions. See, that's what we're trying to get to. That's what's going to make that price move. That's why I'm waiting. That's why I'm here. That's why I love XRP. There's the possibility for trillions to flow. All right. Trillions that could over time scale into quadrillions. If XRP is being used for 50%, and I believe at that time it'll be much higher, much higher, because everybody will want to play. There won't be institutions scared off by the SEC at that time. It's getting hot in the kitchen, folks. We'll see who can stand the heat. It says here specifically, the report stated that 50% of transactions. Oh, we read that part. Let's skip that part. It says, this service allows users to seamlessly conduct transactions. Seamless. We are the best of the best. XRP is the best of the best. And right next to XRP, you got XLM, Algorand, Quant, Hedera. You know the usual suspects. Throw in XDC in there because I know somebody's going to mention XDC. What about XDC, Mick? I love XDC. What do you mean? What about XDC? What do you mean? I love it. I got a bag of it. All right. Anyway, it says here, seamlessly conduct transactions and make purchases efficiently for a fraction of the traditional cost. Yes, we continue to be in the driver's seat. I feel like we're unstoppable. I don't think anything can stop us. Have things slowed us down? Yes, but we haven't stopped. We continue to build, continue to become better. And that means because of the partnerships, because these are catalysts, because of the partnerships, because of the clarity, the wins in court, because of the constant building of infrastructures, the constant improving the XRPL, we continue to be the best of the best. And that means that the future hasn't changed yet. Right? It's just a matter of who's there when it all pops off. And I know I'm going to be there. I can't speak for everybody. I'm going to be there. Now, let's move on here to a little bit of Stellar news. They got a lot going on Stellar, right? It's almost hard to keep up. So you have this article here that was posted today on medium.com, and it's titled Aquarius Automated Market Makers Updates and Plans for 2024. And of course, Aquarius is utilizing Soroban, which there's just a short time. I believe there was supposed to be a vote. I got to get an update on that vote, and hopefully they voted wisely and we're ready to deploy Soroban soon. Soroban smart contracts could be something very powerful for Stellar. We need it. We want it. Get it done. That's how I feel. So now this section here is titled Building Automated Market Makers Engines on Soroban. It says, during the last few months, we have built a set of automated market maker smart contracts running on Soroban FutureNet and TestNet. We've experimented with various automated market maker design ideas and are currently focused on building smart contracts to manage these automated market makers and use them depending on user needs. In Aquarius, we've integrated 2 automated market makers. Oh, they're going all the way. Okay. We've integrated 2 automated market maker models, drawing inspiration from the top AMM platforms on Ethereum, Curve, and Uniswap. It says we've adopted Uniswap's constant product market maker CPMM model, which is effective for a broad range of assets. I wonder why. Like I said, because of the allure of Stellar, because of their big partnerships, which is proof that the big dogs in business and finance find Stellar attractive. A lot of that tokenization of everything can, not going to say will, it's no guarantee, but can come to Stellar. It can, I'm telling you. Like, I can't wait to see the partnerships they unveil in the future. Stellar's one of the fastest, one of the cheapest. Nobody's in control of it, right? I mean, there's so much you can build on it, but let's keep going, right? I enjoy Stellar. Doesn't mean that you have to, but I believe in Stellar. It says here, which is effective for a broad range of assets. Yeah, tokenization of gold, tokenization of real estate, tokenization of all these different NFTs and art and things of that nature. I mean, there's so much you can do. It says, and Curve's stable swap, known for its efficiency with correlated assets. It says Curve's stable swap model stands out in the decentralized finance sector for its efficiency in handling stable coins and other asset swaps with minimal price variance. Look at that right there. Minimal price variance. So we're getting to the point. Well, first of all, we already heard from a regulator. They're not worried about volatility. Then in the article we covered in XRP before this XLM chapter, I think that's proof because XRP is 50% of their on-demand liquidity and cross-border payments that have been taking place, that the companies are not worried about crypto volatility, that they found ways. Like I said, if it's instant or near instant, boom, you put your money in, it goes from here to there with almost no loss whatsoever, maybe even a little bit of a gain, if they haven't found a way to negate that behind the scenes completely with some sort of guaranteed rate or whatever. And I know guaranteed exchange rate and such like that, but I'm not sure if that actually applies here. Like I'm not sure of the semantics of that, but they're not worried about that, right? So we're even getting close to eliminating that with stuff like this, other asset swaps with minimal price variance. This is very good. This cost-effective approach results in significantly lower slippage for trades, which is particularly beneficial for large transactions where even a minor percentage of slippage can lead to a substantial value differences. They're solving major problems here, over here at Aquarius on Stellar. It says focus on stable or correlated assets also means a reduced risk of impermanent loss for liquidity providers, enhancing its appeal as a secure option in the DeFi landscape. We're excited about bringing stable swaps to the Stellar network. So there you have it. Aquarius is bringing stable swaps. All right, so now let's move on here. We have a lot of news to get through today. I want to show you. Now we're going to begin a few chapters of banking news because they are in trouble. I told people, but I like to bring this proof here because if they go down, that's great for us in so many ways. It's great for the new financial system. If a few banks go down, right, they have massive problems, and it's great for commodities as well. All right. It says here, this is from efinancialcareers.com and it's titled multiple banks cutting jobs after lowest bonuses for a decade. If they were doing great, I don't think that their bonuses would be low. All right, so let's go here. Let's scroll down. I'll have to have a laugh. I love when the banks are doing terribly. It says here, it's not just Citi. It's not just Deutsche Bank. After a very bad time for M&A revenues and falling profitability across investment banks, a growing number of institutions are cutting staff. It says alongside Citi and DB, cuts this week are happening at UBS. That's one of our banks, so they're going to need us a little bit more. Rothschild and Lazard. All three banks declined to comment. I wonder why. You see, in the financial industry, we all know the truth. It's just the people on the outside don't know the truth, but they're waking up. They're starting to have that realization. This is why there's so much deposit flight. Let's keep going. It says the liquidity, The liquidity Instagram account was the first to report the cuts at UBS. There's financial Instagram accounts. I wouldn't know. I'm not on Instagram. Like, that's another thing, folks. Let me let you know. I'm only here on YouTube right now. Right? That's it. I'm only here on YouTube. I do not have any crypto channels anywhere else. I do not have any channels anywhere else. Okay. Right here. This is it. Alphaneem YouTube channel. All right. Just want to put that out there. It says here. So they reported cuts at UBS and said equity directors and managing directors there were hit particularly hard. Financial News said the cuts relate to the merger with Credit Suisse. Sources at UBS told us the exits include Richard Kersley, a managing director, a product manager in the equities business who've been with the bank for nearly 40 years. At Rothschild, sources in London say the cuts have affected 8 third-year analysts and first-year associates. They're in big trouble. Here, it says this. The wave of layoffs comes before bonuses are announced or paid at many banks. At banks which have announced bonuses so far, headhunters say the numbers are woeful. All right, you get the picture. Let's move on here to another article. I know the market has been red. I know it's a necessary thing to walk through. We will get through this fire like we get through all of the fires, and crypto will bounce back as it usually does. Everything in its own time. Every cause has a B cause. Every effect has a cause. Everything happens for a reason. You will see we will bounce back probably stronger than ever. Just going through a little bit of a rough patch, which we anticipated. We knew all the possibilities. But anyway, this article here is from the wallstreet.com, and it's titled, "The Bill is Coming Due on a Record Amount of Commercial Real Estate Debt." This is why I said in the beginning of the video, people better get ready for a wild 2024 or 2025. The commercial real estate, let me reiterate, is one of the major things that could contribute to the collapsing of multiple banks. There were hundreds of banks that are sitting on massive commercial real estate losses and massive unrealized losses just outright, and they are in trouble. It says here, more than $2.2 trillion in debt is maturing before 2028, and much of that will have to be refinanced at higher rates. I'm not sure if it was this article. One article I was reading was saying how, I believe it was Blackstone, not BlackRock. I believe it was Blackstone because, Blackstone is really, really deep in commercial real estate. And they were trying to sell properties at 50% off. Remember, I said that last year? I said, listen, if they want to move anything, they're going to have to take massive losses, sell at massive discounts. But then the question is, even if you discount it at 50% and an entity were to buy that commercial real estate property, what are they going to do with it? What are they going to do with it? We already know that the industry is sort of at a standstill where I don't think you're getting more workers to come back to the office. It's sort of like a 50-50 thing. At least that's what I've been reading. Some people are, still working from home. Some people are back at the office. And then I think the majority of the people have like this mixed schedule where they're home sometimes and then they're at the office sometimes, sort of like a meet in the middle type of deal, right? So you're not going to fill up those offices with workers. Then we read reports last year towards the end of 2023 that the whole apartment idea. So they had this idea to turn commercial real estate, to save the banks, to turn commercial real estate into apartments. But then nobody was, like I said earlier in the year, nobody was buying those apartments, right? The people are dead broke. They do not have that type of money. Then on top of that, the price for apartments is sky high. In some areas, the price for apartments, the rent for apartments is as high as a mortgage on some of these houses. Right. So a lot of these individuals, because their wages are not high enough, they're just not. And it seems there's a job problem, really. We'll get into that another time, but they can't afford apartments. So that apartment idea is not going to work. You're just going to have, instead of have commercial real estate sitting there, you're just going to have apartments sitting there empty. So it doesn't solve that. So then who would buy at a 50% rate? If I can't do anything with the property, there's no point in having it if it's useless. You get what I'm saying? So there's almost no way around this problem. It looks like those banks, some banks are probably going to go down in 2024 or 2025. And either way, it doesn't make a difference. It's going to body rock the industries. It's going to change everything. And that's another thing. I don't think I have. Oh, I do have the article. Let's slide that article up here since I'm about to talk about that topic. So let's move to this article here. So that's another reason why a lot of individuals are calling for new, how they phrase it here. It says here, this article is from Reuters.com and it's titled, "Banks Need New Liquidity Rules to Guard Against Bank Runs. Why?" So we read all that information that says banks are in trouble. You don't think that some of them, they know that they might go down. And when they go down, it will cause bank runs on other banks. When the regular people hear that banks are going down, all they know is, oh, I think my money's in trouble. Oh, my money. That's all they think about. They don't think it was this bank over here. They think it could happen to me. And they run to those banks and there are massive, massive bank runs. OK, and so this is an indicator to me that they know is highly likely a lot of them can go down. Right. So that's why you have articles like this. Read this little tidbit here. It says so it's serious. And serious eyes are thinking about this. A top U.S. banking regulator on Thursday announced plans for new short-term liquidity rules to help lenders respond to runs by depositors of the kind that felled Silicon Valley Bank and other mid-sized banks last year. Why are they so worried about that? And on top of that, that is my theory that in 2024, at some point, they're going to have to stop that bailout. Of course, they don't call it a bailout fund, whatever that's called, that bailout fund that they raised last year for when those banks went down. They're going to have to stop it. So now, if they stop that bailout fund, then that the banks have been borrowing from and propping themselves up, then more banks logically would have to go down. This all ties deeply into the new financial system, because as you can see from these articles we've been reading, the banks are drowning and they need a life preserver, and the new financial system is their life preserver. This is one of the reasons why a lot of big financial institutions are piling into crypto right now, taking it over, because they understand how much money crypto can make. And they need to make it. They need to dominate it in order to make that kind of money so they can survive without a massive downgrade to everything that they do. But it says here, Michael Hsu, the acting comptroller of the currency, said larger banks should be required to prove they are able to quickly access funds over the, quote, ultra short term, unquote. Why has that never been established? You see, they're worried about it. Why has that never been established? Because they know at times the banks play a lot of very interesting games with money. And at times they're not able to do this. At times they don't have that capital for a massive bank run. It doesn't matter the bank size. So this comptroller knows they're in trouble, trying to help them out, but the banks are going to resist, because they're too used to what they've always been doing. They don't know how to change. That's why it's not so much about changing when it comes to the new financial system. They just want to congeal with the new financial system and hope it solves all their problems, which dumps a whole lot of capital in the hands of the bank coin companies and the bank coins, if and when we are unleashed. Let's move on here. All right. I'm going to skip an article here. I had another article. This one was titled Delinquencies. I'm just going to give you a little bit. Delinquency spike on loans tied to office buildings. So it's beginning. Once again, people better get ready. Don't be shocked if you see a whole lot of terrible things take place in the financial, in the banking industry over this next year. Have no fear. We're going to get through it. But they give an example here. It says, we're getting confirmation of this simple reality of a massive wave of delinquencies, state of play. Delinquencies on commercial mortgages backed by the U.S. office properties hit 5.8% in December, the highest since late 2017, according to S&P Global. So it's reputable. Right? Reputable source. This is, quote, given the lasting adoption of work from home behaviors. I was just talking about this. I just said this like a few minutes ago. You see, this is what happened when you're doing research. You're on top of the good information, the solid information. You know what's about to happen. It says work from home behavior, high interest rates, and diminished credit availability. Office property values across the U.S. have declined, unquote, wrote Goldman Sachs analyst in a recent note. Now, none of those things I view as changing at any time soon. There's going to be continued work from home behavior. I've seen it myself around this neighborhood, right? Certain people home, never seen them home before at certain times, right? And then higher interest rates going to have to be higher for longer. Maybe they just don't raise it again, maybe, but have to be higher for longer. And diminished credit availability, well, that speaks for itself. All right, so now let's move on here. Let's get to a little bit of Bitcoin news. A lot of people are very bearish on Bitcoin right now. I get it. Bitcoin still has a very bright future, It just has to go through this rough patch. It's being manipulated right now. There's a lot of profit taking from the companies right now. And we talked about this before. But it still has an extremely bright future. I expect it, not financial advice, okay? I expect it to be a moneymaker for years to come. A big moneymaker, as a matter of fact. But it says this here. If BlackRock continues 6,000 Bitcoin daily buys, we get a supply crunch within 18 months. Here's why. All right, let's find out what they have to say. I like it. I want a Bitcoin bull run. The last one was fantastic. There's so many altcoins. I hate to call them altcoins. I do. So many coins ready to explode. It's mind-blowing. The setup is beautiful. All we need is a catalyst. Bitcoin's a major catalyst, no matter what anyone says. So I want badly a Bitcoin bull run. I want a bull run of any kind, a real one, right? So it says here, a fun exploration into why Bitcoin liquidity is not the same as other commodity ETFs. It says, building on Crypto Slate's recent analysis of the competing Bitcoin inflows and outflows between BlackRock and Grayscale, I extrapolated the data even further to see just how long BlackRock could sustain its current average Bitcoin accumulation. We got a researcher in the building, and this individual did their homework and, did a little bit of mathematics for us. It says here, at a high level, BlackRock's entry through Bitcoin ETFs is a substantial moment for Bitcoin's reputation in the United States. Well, the reputation of crypto overall and the conditioning of the legacy system mines. Let me add that in there. It says here, along with other newborn 9 ETFs, BlackRock's endorsement is likely to decrease the liquid and very liquid supplies as more investors gain access to Bitcoin as a long-term investment. Further, it will increase investor confidence for those unfamiliar with blockchain and enhance the credibility of Bitcoin as an asset class, thereby affecting its liquidity and volatility profiles. Scroll down here. Before I go any further, I want to add a very clear disclaimer here. The analysis below is a hypothetical look at possible accumulation levels from spot Bitcoin ETFs. I have used the debut inflows for BlackRock. Okay, so he did some calculations. He pretty much is going to give his version of this is not financial advice. All right. That's pretty much, I think, what he's going to say. It says the demand for Bitcoin is unlikely to remain consistent at any price. So assuming the same Bitcoin inflows over a prolonged period is improbable. It says, that said, looking at the numbers from a purely theoretical standpoint does reveal some extremely headline-worthy data points, which can then be used alongside other analysis to identify if and when a supply crunch is on the horizon for Bitcoin. The longer these new ETFs continue to acquire Bitcoin at these elevated levels, the better for long-term hodlers and laser eyes. Interesting how some companies now have laser eyes. They know something's coming. The only ones that are just doubtful and not sure of things are just retail. That's it. You and I know what's going on. Like Tupac said, you and I know what's going on. It says, one of my favorite rap artists as well, from the old school. In my opinion now, more than ever, hodling Bitcoin has a real purpose. It definitely does. I think Bitcoin has a bright future. It says here, the fewer Bitcoins available for purchase inside ETFs, the closer we come to a mother of all supply squeezes moment. I can't wait. I'll make a little money off Bitcoin, probably a good amount of money off Bitcoin, actually. And the bull run will begin again. Oh, I get excited just thinking about it. Oh, I'm so well positioned. I'm ready. I know you're well positioned as well. Some of you have things I don't even have. Oh, you're ready. I'm ready. But let's not get too excited. Let me calm down. Okay. It says where Bitcoin moons. They love that word moon. I come to just dread that word moon. People use it so much. Where Bitcoin moons, skyrockets, explodes, goes boom. Not because shorts have to cover, but because institutions have to buy Bitcoin on the open market like the rest of the world. And who is this article writer? Who is this? I have to give them a name shout out. This article writer is Liam Akiba Wright from Crypto Slate. Good job. And we didn't read the whole article. This article is massive. What he just told people is mind-blowing. We're in for, if what he said actually occurs, we are in for what they've been calling for all 2023. And I agree with the biggest bull run of all time. So right now it's just the preparatory phase. Anything before that time is just an appetizer. And I can't wait. Let me not get too excited. All right, so let's get to these articles here. We're gonna close out the video with this next. We have just 3 articles left. We almost got through all of them. We haven't been doing all the articles lately, but we're gonna get back to normal, okay? So now, this article is from the cryptoglobe.com and it's titled Ada Whale Cardano. Ada Whale explains Cardano's potential attraction for institutional and TradFi investment funds. Well, I'll tell you, I'm keeping my eye on Cardano. I remember how explosive it was last bull run. I took profit heavily. I made good money off of Cardano. But right now, even though it still has that speculation support, so it could definitely explode just off the speculation support. It has a strong community. But what I'm looking for, just from all the articles I read, I just don't hear about big partnerships or big companies operating on Cardano. I just don't hear it. And that's what I'm personally looking for. And maybe that's been occurring and I just haven't seen those articles. Right. But I've read quite a few Cardano articles. I just never hear about big partnerships or big projects utilizing Cardano. And that's what you're going to need. Like, for example, Flare is nowhere near the popularity of Cardano. But as soon as Flare landed the Google Cloud partnerships, there was a multitude of articles written about the Google Cloud partnerships. So there's no way that I'm going to right now believe that Cardano has landed some massive partnerships. That's my catalyst. That's why I look for it. Institutional use. That Cardano has landed massive partnerships and it just wasn't written about and it just went under the radar. I just don't think so. Chainlink lands massive partnerships is written about. Solana, it's written about. Flare, like I said, nowhere near Cardano's popularity, written about. So that's what I'm waiting to see. Show me something. But let's read this little tidbit here. It says, recently in a comprehensive thread on social media platform X, Ada Whale and prominent Cardano ecosystem analysts outlined the reasons why institutional and traditional finance investors should consider exposure to Cardano. I'm playing it safe with Cardano right now. You want to be real. I'm interested. I have experience with it. I like where their minds are. I like Charles Hoskinson and his vision, but I'm playing it safe for now. You got to show me something. It says number 1 here, institutional interest in crypto. Oh, so maybe it'll tell me something right now. Ada Whale began by noting that more institutional and TradFi money is expected to flow into crypto soon. Nope, you can't get me with that. Nope. I know this is for big companies, this article, but I'm the one reading it, so I'm going to respond. No, you can't get me with that. That's too general. I don't care about general crypto. I need to know what's going to flow into you, into Ada. That's what I need to know. Like, look. Yeah, so let's keep going. It says he suggested that this makes it an opportune time for these entities to explore investment in Cardano. No, you have to show why they should use it. Who else is using it? Why? Like, why should they use it? Why is Cardano powerful? Well, who are they better than? Make a comparison even. I don't care. Like, get yourself in the game. That's how I look at it. Just given its unique position in the crypto space compared to major cryptocurrencies and VC, venture capitals backed coins, it says, I don't care who backs your coin. They, you have to have something going on no matter how you're achieving it, as long as it's not in a bad way. That's it. That's it. Have something going on. It says Cardano's academic foundation. According to the Ada Whale, Cardano stands out due to its academic and open source nature, likening it to the Linux of crypto. Cardano is brilliantly made. No doubt about it. But you have to have that push. You have to have some kind of activity going on. Major. You have to have something to show. He highlighted its stable, secure, and lightweight network capable of supporting a decentralized world with a remarkable uptime of 6 years. Okay, let's stop right there. He's not going too deep, not impressing me, but I'll say this. I still remain bullish on Cardano. I'm still bullish on Cardano. It still can explode. It did well before. I think it'll do well again, but I'm talking about that next level, life-changing capital everybody's looking for in the next true bull run, which could be the biggest bull run of all time. That I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing why it should go there. But make a good amount of money, yes. Make life-changing capital, I don't know. I don't know. So we'll keep our eye on it. All right. They still have time, and I'll dig deeper into Cardano. We'll see. So now let's move on here. Let's move on here. We got a lot going on in the world as a whole, right? So now, this article is from finance.yahoo.com, and it is titled, Mortgage Losses Surge at Fastest Pace Since Financial Crisis. I told you. Then I said this recently. People don't like to hear it, but I'm here to tell the truth, not just to tell people what they want to hear. And the United States is in a lot of trouble. It says here, mortgage losses are growing at the fastest rate since the financial crisis as families struggle to keep up with rapidly rising interest rate. Yeah, families over the years, people as a whole over the years have been given body shots. I know that was terrible iteration, but I'm thinking like video game body shots that were entertaining. You got to be entertaining on screen. But they've been body blown, body shotted, devastated. And I'm glad they're telling you, right? Because I say this a lot. I don't know if people actually are hearing what I'm saying, because if they're doing well, it's just like people project on each other. And if individuals are doing well, they tend to, this is what I noticed, they tend to project on others and think that everybody's doing well because they're doing well. It's like, no, it's a lot of struggle out here right now. It says banks and building. That's why I don't play with capital. That's why I don't waste capital. I'm trying to preserve capital. It doesn't matter if you have a lot of money or a little, preserve capital. That's my way. I'm not telling you to do that, but that's my way. Preserve capital, waste nothing. You don't need to impress anybody. You just need to live well and have a good life and have peace. That's it. Right? So that's how I look at it. It says banks and building societies reported the biggest rise in households failing to keep up with repayments on secured loans, overwhelmingly mortgages since early 2009, according to a closely watched Bank of England survey. A net score of 25.2 reported an increase in losses from defaulted customers in the final 3 months of 2023. 25.2 reported an increase. So the number of factors in both the proportion of banks and building societies seeing an increase in extent of the rise. It signaled the biggest rise in homeowners struggling since 2009, though the jump is dwarfed by the score of 63.8 recorded in the spring that year. So things are getting tough across the board in the world. Really, it's the West is suffering greatly. Europe is having its struggles, obviously. United States is having its struggles, obviously. So hopefully people are tightening up their belts, making good financial decisions, and you have to adapt to survive. Have adaptability is very, very advantageous. And we will make it through this. We will make it through and we will thrive, in my humble opinion. If we're wise enough to make the right decisions, we will thrive through this. Let's end off the video here today, everybody, with a little bit of gold news. All right. Everything has come down a little bit. Gold has also come down a little bit. People are going to liquidate at some point. It was high for a while, and I believe it will go back up. It says here, this is from fxstreet.com, and this is titled Gold Price Forecast. All right. So it says XAU USD to average above $2,000 over 2024. I believe that's a sustainable level, but we shall see. Even if it goes lower than that, I'm not concerned at all. All the catalysts remain there. It says gold is likely to benefit from the transition from tightening to easing with sustained macroeconomic and geopolitical uncertainties in 2024, analysts at ANZ Bank say. It says time to shine. Quote, gold is set to benefit from easing monetary policy, elevated geopolitical risk, that's what I was talking about, and strong central bank buying. Quote, given the low investor allocation to the sector, any rebound in investment demand will be a powerful tailwind, unquote. Quote, we expect gold prices to average above $2,000 over 2024, unquote. Okay, so now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.